professor when I wear them. Chris, nice to see you. Thank you all for joining me here today. I wanted to have a chat and a discussion, reflections about some issues that affect animal rescues in my country, in Spain, but that I believe they are extendable to many other countries. Sorry. Wait a second. Okay, so they are extendable to many other countries. Now, I don't know if that applies to the US, but I'm pretty sure it does to most rescues, except maybe the kill shelters. The shelters run by municipalities, by cities, the pounds where they kill the animals. Those guys, this is an issue that affects everyone else. Okay, now let me start by reading a letter published by an animal rescue in Spain at a local newspaper. Please listen to me, because I think this text is a desperate plea, as well as a call for understanding from the general public. It starts like this. The truth is that I don't know how to begin, because it's difficult. Every day we fight for our dogs. Every day we get up and spend hours and hours with them. 14-hour shifts at the shelter, several days a week, hours at veterinary offices, hours spreading the word, hours begging for help. Before you know, your life is dedicated solely to them. Actually, your life is them. This letter, as I said, it was written by a rescue. I think it could have been written by anybody here. Sometimes you break down, thinking about how sad it is that no one gives them a single day of their lives, even though they only ask for a little attention. Other times, anger consumes you because you see there is no end. Time passes and everything remains the same, alone. And most days, you see in their eyes a sparkle of joy, of hope, of innocence, and you feel full, happy, you feel it's worth it, that there's nothing you wouldn't give to them. But there comes a time when your body just can't. A time when exhaustion overpowers reason and it's very hard to know that you can't move, that there isn't a muscle in your body that responds because you haven't rested for days. And they are there, depending on you. You get up dragging yourself, and so another day goes by. And this continues. Do you know how many of us there are in La Gran Familia, is the name of this shelter, in our shelter, fighting for and with them? And then this person goes to tell you how many people work there. And it goes, V1, veteran volunteer fixed to go to the shelter 1 day a week. Volunteer 1. Volunteer 2, veteran volunteer fixed to go 1 day a week to the shelter. Volunteer 3, veteran volunteer goes 1 day a week to the shelter. Veteran 4, volunteer veteran usually goes 1 day, alternating weeks or once every 3 weeks. Volunteer 5. This place only has volunteers. It doesn't have any single employee. Volunteer 5. Occasionally, due to work, goes when possible. Sometimes alternate weeks. Sometimes 1 day a week for 2 consecutive weeks. Sometimes she doesn't go in a month. Volunteer 6. New volunteer. Occasional. Volunteer 7. New volunteer. Occasional. Volunteer 8. New volunteer, occasional. Volunteer 9, new volunteer, 1 day during the weekend. Each cleaning shift of the shelter must be composed of 2 people, and one of them must be a veteran. If you look again, you will see the numbers don't add up. Since the fixed people go on the days they can't coordinate with their jobs and their commitments. And then she goes on. Until now, we have been managing based on a lot of effort. But then come the vacations, and volunteer 2 goes in early July. Volunteer 3 goes from early July and does not return until September. Volunteer 4, early July, goes on holidays. Volunteer 5 is not confirmed. Volunteer 6 leaves early July. Volunteer 7 leaves early July. Volunteer 8 goes until September, and volunteer 9 returns in September. We are in charge of more than 90 dogs, and all the volunteers are leaving. We are left, in principle, 2 people to cover the daily cleaning shift at the shelter, plus the veterinarians, and also daily, and the residents. It is no longer about doubling shifts, it's about covering whole weeks, one after another. She continues, what are we going to do? How are we going to cope with everything? We need hands, people who want to dedicate 1 day a week to them. We ask no more. The situation is getting out of control, and we are collapsing by the minute, because no matter how much you fight, your strength fades. I write from the heart. I plead from the heart, because if we really end up so few, the moment will come, the instant when our bodies and minds will say, I can't go on. And then what will happen? Will we close the door at the shelter, and what will become of them if they depend on us for everything? If that happens, we won't close the doors to new alerts, even if there are urgents. But the lives of those we already have will start to falter completely, and it's not possible to bear that idea without the world crashing down on us. Those dogs, to those reading this, may be just dogs. For us, they are our lives. You can't imagine how hard it is to write these lines, knowing that their future is at risk, and that this treacherous mind only reminds me of their faces one by one. It's hard to see them running happily through the yards, knowing that their future is at risk, and this treasure mind, and whatever, and how they jump on without warning, asking for help. So basically, this lady is desperate. And she's desperate because she runs a shelter with over 90 dogs, and she only has volunteers. And the volunteers, by definition, are volunteers. They show up whenever they want, whenever they can, whenever they, can take time off from their jobs. Now, what I have just read is really sad for 2 reasons. In this country, I'm not going to say all, because there are people that don't, but I think 80 to 90% of the animal shelters are depending exclusively on volunteers. Can you imagine what this means? This means that come summer, and this is exactly what happens. This means that the animals living in those shelters, overcrowded, always, they get no time out, no one to walk them, no one to clean them. It is a mess. And you see, then you get people criticizing organizations like ours, we have professionalized everything. Basically, everybody working at our shelter, everybody, all the caretakers, everybody is not a volunteer. They're professionals. They get paid. And that is the only way we have to ensure that the animals are taken care of every day, 24/7. But that's very easy to understand, right? You understand. If you work in a shop, you go work in the shop, you spend 8 hours, 9 hours, and you get paid, right? If you are a vet, you go to the clinic and you expect to get paid because you have kids, they have to go to school, because you have to pay for your insurance, you have to pay for the car tires if they blow up, right? Your house. It's understandable, it's normal. But for whatever reason, there seems to be the belief and the I don't know how you call it, fantasize, magical thinking, romantic belief that in this sector, if you rescue dogs, if you work at an animal shelter, you must be a volunteer. You must not get paid because that is not right. You have to give your time. You have to give your entire life career just to work at a shelter and be able to say, I work at a shelter, I save lives, I have absolutely no money, I am a poor beggar. That is a common situation in this country where I live, and I'm pretty sure it happens in many other countries. In Turkey, it happens. In Greece, it happens. In Italy, it happens. France, most probably happens as well. Germany, I don't think so. Not so much. Holland, definitely not. The US, most probably in many shelters. Am I right? Am I right, or am I speaking Chinese? I don't think so. You see my point? You see my point? Let me see. Let me go back to the. Let me drop. Okay, I have just dropped the link. If any of you would like to help me continue doing what I do, please join me on Patreon. Anyway, that's even in the US. Okay. So, what is the situation and what is the solution for these people? By the way, the second part of what I was going to say, the lady that wrote this text collapsed. She had a brain seizure and she's now bedridden. In the end, she paid the ultimate price for doing things that way. What is the solution? So why do we people do things this way? Is it the fault of the public that just doesn't show up at our shelters and volunteer and say, look, I want to give 2 weeks of my, 1 day a week, I will work here for free. Why? Why? I don't know. Or is it the fault of those people that run these shelters because they haven't decided to professionalize everything? It's the right thing to do, right? You pay for your phone bills, you pay for the electricity bills, you pay for the school, you pay for everything. If you go have a coffee, you pay for your coffee. Why can't the people that work at shelters get a decent salary? Everybody that works at Let's Adopt gets paid. We don't expect anybody to be a volunteer. Every once in a while, we get a visitor from overseas, from Europe, or whatever. They want to come here for a week, stay with us. Fine, yeah, you should come and stay. Absolutely. These are our volunteers. Volunteers, visitors. I mean, most of the time, there's really not real work to do because it's all done by our team. But they come, they hang out, they chill, they drink, and they have a good time. But we cannot rely on volunteers. Takis in Greece doesn't rely on volunteers. Soy Dog in Thailand, I bet you, has very few, if any, volunteer. And I tell you, in Thailand, probably they have a big tourist space and Phuket is full of tourists and maybe they come, show up, whatever, spend 1 day there, they leave with a souvenir and they give a donation. Probably. Okay, over here in Valencia, we don't have that. We're far away from town. We're kind of hidden because we don't want people to just show up there. But you see, the solution to all of this is professionalization, is to make professional teams. And this only works if people, you, Melissa, thank you very much for your help. Wow, that's great. That only works if people donate. But they don't donate only because they see an animal, oh, this animal needs help. No, they donate because they believe in the work the organization does. Because some of those expenses are not going to go to the animal. Well, they do, but they're going to go to pay for the team. They're going to go to pay for food, to pay for equipment, if the car breaks down. You see? Because sometimes I get people that write to me and say, look, I'm going to donate $10, but I want these $10 to go specifically for this animal. Yeah, sure. Okay, I promise you, of the $3,000 bill that we're gonna pay for this animal, these 10 of yours are gonna go to him. I promise you that. But you see my point. As I say, the lady that wrote this beautiful letter, this desperate letter, paid the ultimate price because she didn't understand that they had to build a professional team. We have done it. We have a beautiful team of people that care for the animals, that, you know, their animals are their lives. Thank you very much to all of you that are joining today, by the way. This is beautiful. And by the way, I'm gonna drop again, that's the link to my Patreon support community. That really helps if you join me there. I promise you, it really does. But we all need to understand that for these shelters to work, for these shelters to do their amazing job, and I'm not talking about ours. Like, no, I'm not, believe me, not. But for Takis, let me talk about Takis, my friend Takis. Hi Takis, love you. For Takis to do the work he does, he needs a team of people doing it. Of course, he's gonna have the occasional visitor from Germany, usually girls. Hi Takis. But he needs a team of people from Crete working there and getting paid. So I need you to understand that your donations are going to the running of the team, running of the whole operation, and you must keep this in mind. Let me tell you something else. Sometimes people write to me and say, oh, well, but your minimum donation in your website is, I don't know, I think it's $20 or something, 25 or something. But you can donate less if you want. By the way, you can change the amount. Many people do. But they complain. I mean, why do you have a minimum of 20 or 10 or whatever? Why don't you have a minimum of 1? And I always tell them, please do not turn me into what I am not. I'm not begging for help. I am not a homeless person sitting in front of a supermarket, hanging the hat and passing the plate to see if any of you want to help. We're running a professional organization. We're spending thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and more thousands of dollars in veterinary care. We have a team of people that are dedicating their lives to this. And you are getting the amazing satisfaction of being part of it. You're having, that's it, my dogs. What time is it? Crazy time. Okay, when you donate, I mean, you're helping for this beautiful machine to work, for everything to work. So if you want to donate €1, $1, whatever, you can. You just go to the website and just donate 1. But understand that if you donate 1, we can, I mean, we basically, we just wouldn't break even. We will just close down. So don't turn me into a beggar, because I'm not a beggar. But you see, charities, we are set up like this. If we were running a business, oh my God, this thing wouldn't happen. These conversations will never happen. I will never be asking, please donate, please donate. No, we will be selling a product that will be of value to you and you will be buying the product. But that's not how our charter is defined. We're a foundation. We're a non-profit. You see? So please do not turn me into a beggar. Don't ask me, it's humiliating. So when you ask me, why don't you take €1? Please send it. Send it. But know that with €1, we're not gonna make it. We will need 90,000 people donating every month to break even. And we don't have 90,000 people donating anything. Thank you, Barbara. I'm not a beggar. But these are all reflections. What I am is I am the head of a professional organization that saves lives, saves dogs, and my job is to fundraise, to convey the rescues we make, to convey what's in here, the spirit of this organization, and to convince you to join me. And in which way can you join me? If you're in Canada, you're in Australia, you're in Germany, you are, the only thing I can tell you is to donate. Because we cannot depend on you as a volunteer. We wish and we love when one of our animals gets adopted. We really ask you to share our videos, spread our message, make the team grow. But it is very difficult to assign you a task from the distance other than asking you to donate. As I said, the lady that wrote that beautiful letter paid the ultimate price. She's bedridden. She recovers conscience every once in a while. The whole organization is run by somebody else who is following the same principles, and she's struggling to try to find volunteers. And she's never gonna find them. They have right now over 100 dogs, all of them elderly, because they are afraid to adopt animals abroad. So they are hoping they're gonna find homes for hundreds of old dogs in Spain, and that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen, and that's the reason again why Takis sends dogs abroad, and Soy Dog sends dogs abroad, and it would be wonderful if we could all rehome our animals in our countries, but it just doesn't happen that way. Plus, we are a YouTube channel. Most of our viewers, you are everywhere else. So, you see what I mean? Okay, that was just a reflection. Let me again drop the link to my Patreon support group. That support group has been amazing. It's been running for the last 7 years or 6 years, and I tell you, some of the most amazing people I know are there. People that committed to this organization, that have done everything they can and they do every month. If you can, just join us there. It will be wonderful. Other question. Somebody wrote to me, by the way, I need to write to her. I'm really bad at answering letters during the weekends. I apologize. She said that she's confused. I mean, what is better, to donate directly to the organization, to go through Patreon, to donate through YouTube, and she said, why do you have so many ways of helping? And that's my answer. We have many ways of helping because they all help. Because in the same way that when you go to a restaurant, you just don't have a one dish in the menu. You have many dishes, and maybe you like one dish, maybe you like another one. Maybe there are people that would like to donate directly through the site. Others enjoy Patreon because I'm there and because I really, really push for it. There are people that are happy having the logo next to their name through the channel when they donate through YouTube. Others are helping us when they donate through the World Animal Awareness site. Those donations come to us as well directly. Everybody does it depending on how they feel, where they are. And then there are people, the amazing ones, that they contribute through every single way they can, through every channel And to those ones, I can only say, well, I mean, thank you from the bottom of my heart. But I will reply to this lady and I will explain why there are multiple ways of donating. So Paula, yes, every single channel, everybody takes a little cut. Maybe Patreon, maybe YouTube, maybe PayPal, because again, everybody has to make a living, and this can be the people working at the shelter, or it can be the people working at PayPal. Everybody will always take a small little percentage. Do not expect any donation to come 100% directly. The only way this will happen is if you gave me the money directly in my hand. And of course, that's not going to happen. We have never done this. It's all electronically. So any way you make a transfer, there's always going to be a small percentage taken. But that's part. That's part of life. That is cost of life. That is cost of operating. You shouldn't worry about that. What will happen if a platform like PayPal didn't make a small profit? The PayPal wouldn't be there. See? Okay. I think I've thrown some ideas. To these shelters that are struggling, to these people that are just trying to make do with volunteers and are trying to raise funds desperately for food, they cannot even feed their dogs. To those people, I will tell them, make an effort, professionalize, find good people, find volunteers that can make video. Make videos. By the way, none of these people make videos. None of these people have a guy like me coming out on videos and telling you stories and explaining why we do things the way we do. So get a camera. If you have a shelter, get a camera. Start talking to the camera. Broadcast. It's not easy. Krista, okay, interesting question coming from an American. How do you donate by check? We cannot take checks because we are in Europe. So first you have to mail it, and then the check will come over here, we'll take it to the bank, and they won't accept it. So they won't cash it. We cannot take checks. I'm sorry. We are in the other side of the world, but you can do it through a transfer using any card that says Visa or MasterCard will work. And of course, Patreon, which is a great system, by the way, because Patreon has allowed me to build this amazing relationship and this trust with my friends, people like Chris, Yaura. I mean, I have hundreds and hundreds of friends now. That couldn't happen before. It happens now. So the people running shelters, if you're struggling, get a camera and start taking video. Take videos of the animals, take videos of yourself, talk. Let the people know what you stand, what you're all about. And start from there. Ask for help, raise money, hire one employee. Okay, pay him a little bit, make it, as time goes, you will grow. But build a professional team. You cannot do it alone. You cannot do it alone or with volunteers alone, because that will mean completely forfeiting your life. What about your family? What about your animals? What kind of life is this? Barbara, honestly, those that help us are people like you. People who give us their time every day because we upload daily, and that once in a while they stay with us and they have a chat with us and they reflect and they feel that they are part of this, because they are. By the way, I have all your names here. Kathleen, thank you very much. Thanks a lot for the tip. That's 5. Great. And let me drop again my Patreon page. I would love these chats to help me build an amazing organization so that I don't have to make these chats, but they're always going to be there because that's my role. My role will always raise support, raise finance, get adopters, get fosters, coordinate, trips, answer emails, and answer to the occasional hater. I love those ones. Haters, God. You know what happened after we lost the court case here? Jesus, that was great news. The reaction of people has been amazing, but these haters, oh my God, they are like bees, bzzz, soapy stuff, because now they know that we're going after them. They're not happy, I tell you. They're just not happy at all. Yeah, I will tell you more about this very soon. So, I've been speaking for half an hour, exactly, 31 minutes. Let me answer some comments, because when I am in the zone, over here I don't see any comments. I have to look at the computer. Hola, Fabiana. Tengo que entrar en España. ¿Tengo que entrar en qué? A ver, no entiendo nada. Okay, how do you need by visa? In our website, under every single video, the first comment, there's always say, please donate, help us continue saving lives. At our website, let me see. You can donate here. Let me put this thing in a second. I will drop the donation link so that you can do that directly if you wish through our website. Because without you, we're very, yes. Okay, there you go. That goes directly through our website. If anybody tells you that they only work with volunteers, that they depend entirely with volunteers, you can be pretty sure that unless this person is an amazing organizer and she can rally hundreds of volunteers to do everything, the animals in that shelter are suffering. And that is mostly the fault of the shelter manager. She has to build a professional team. You cannot operate with volunteers exclusively. Volunteer vets? Come on. Do you think you're gonna have a vet volunteering whenever you have an emergency? And what happens if that vet he has to be on another surgery that is paying for his family's life? No, it doesn't work. We don't have a single volunteer. We cannot, because we cannot depend on them. Today is a Sunday. Today is Sunday, 7:30. And right now, at the Great House, there are 5 people working there. Sunday, 7:30 in the evening. There are 5 people. Because our animals need them. No volunteer will be at the shelter on a Sunday at 7:30. See what I mean? The Dogman Prophecies, you volunteer with no dogs. Yeah, hold on a second. I didn't say that volunteers don't exist. And I didn't say that volunteers are not important for those that can assemble them and make them work and make it work. But what I say is that the organization cannot work exclusively with volunteers. And volunteers cannot even be the main contributors to the work of that shelter. The Dogman Prophecies, I see your comment. And it's beautiful and it's super rewarding, and you're giving your time, and probably these hours that you go there or the entire day or whatever, you're having a blast. Probably is much more rewarding than your work, isn't it? Am I correct? Probably I am. But it's impossible for the organization to work exclusively with volunteers, because how many people like you are there? Very few. And how long can you stay there every day? Not every day. So anyway, guys, it's beautiful to have you here. really great to see you on this Sunday. Well, I'm not seeing anybody of you, but I have all of you here in the comments. Now, after I hang up, I'll be reading. Sorry. Yes, exactly. Our organization will never work without full staff members. Not possible. Maribel, for example. Maribel, by the way, I have great news about Maribel. Maribel is coming back. Maribel is coming back. Not like before, but she's coming back in a different way. She's coming back as a... I will explain you. But Maribel is coming back. She is not going to be bringing her daughter to the house, Martina, but she is going to be back, and you will see her again in our videos. The truth is, we couldn't do it without her. We miss her so much. We had so many issues after she left. So she has to be back. That's it. It's like Steve Jobs coming back to Apple after he left. I thought I was important. I'm not. Maribel is the secret sauce of Let's Adopt. It's true. Maribel is great. So you'll see her again very soon. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for your help. Thank you for going through this tirade with me. It's been wonderful to spend some time with you, and please think about what I say. And understand that every donation you give is not... I'm not begging. I'm making a professional organization run. Okay. Lots of love. Love all of you. Candace. All right. Start again from at the beginning of the video. You see, you will see everything will make sense. Okay, got to go. Lots of love. Take care. Maribel is coming back, and we have well, actually today, one of our team is working on a very complicated rescue in Seville. Linda is really... there is this dog that is so difficult to catch, and we've been trying to do that for many days. That's a nightmare. And today is, I think, day 4 or day 5 of this rescue. And then over here, I have a lady that you will meet her again next week. She's you'll see. Actually, I'm gonna introduce you to her. Her name is Linda, by the way. Let me introduce you to Linda. That's Linda. She has cancer. She has stage 3 mammary tumors, and they were asking for a good family for her. Internet is doing funny things. Okay, gotta go. Take care. Ciao, ciao. Thank you for everything. Bye.